Hey there everyone, it's Joe from Ainslie's Gold Silver Standard Insights, brought to you by goldsilverstandard.com and ainslieBullion.com.au. It's TA Tuesday, where I take a quick look at the price of gold, silver, and one of the cryptos. We will do Bitcoin because it's had a little bit of a rise, and everything's actually had a little bit of a rise in the last week or two. My apologies for missing last week's technical analysis. We had some technical difficulties with technical analysis, but we are back today. So we'll take a look at the last couple of weeks. We'll do Bitcoin at the end. We'll start with gold and silver. So here is gold on the weekly time frame. It's priced in US dollars, 1,673 at the moment, and we're using the tradingview.com website. Pop on the indicators. If you have not seen my technical analysis before, I keep it very simple just for everyone to follow along. No crazy indicators. We just have some support and resistance lines right there. Sometimes you'll see some trend lines. And also the relative strength index, which basically indicates periods of overbought and oversold. And in general, it tends to fluctuate in between these two bands, sometimes going into extremely overbought or extremely oversold. And you can use that as a bit of a trend guide as well. So a couple of weeks ago, we had been talking about a double bottom in gold. Let's go to the daily. Right about here, we had formed this double bottom right here. It looked to be a double bottom. 1,620 was the support level. And I was suggesting that, and it doesn't always happen, but suggesting that double bottoms can, in some cases, see a reversal of trend. Again, doesn't always happen. So we did come up to $1,675, but then a fast move back down. Now, if I had have done a video last week, I would have talked about this level right here of 1,640 as a support level. We would want to see it hold, unless then we would see some further moves. Now, what I would have said, and I'll be very honest with you, what I would have said if I had seen this move down to here, I would have personally said, oh, I think that's it. I think we're going to continue heading down further. And I think we would probably head down to this next level of $1,560. So that would have been a wrong call so far. But I want to be honest with you. I would have said, well, yeah, third time's probably a charm and we'd head down. Luckily for everyone, we have seen a triple bottom so far. The more times that you see a level of support hold, then you're looking pretty good. Now, definitely not saying we're onwards and upwards from here, but a triple bottom, that's not looking too bad. What are some other indicators that we can look at which may suggest, higher prices from here? Well, let's quickly see where we've gone from. Again, a triple bottom at 1,618 US dollars on this particular chart, and a move smack straight through 1640, straight through 1660. Have not yet reached the $1,700 level, topped out so far at $1,680, and maybe a couple of red candle days. So I could expect another bit of a red candle day here. Of course, want to hold this support level, 1,660. You want to see a nice little bounce off there, and then you would be confident that we would be continuing higher from here. Let's take a look at the weekly time frame. And again, we don't give financial advice here at Ainslie, so I can just sort of tell you, the target's moving higher and the target's moving lower. What can I see in terms of the relative strength index? Looks like, see, a double bottom right there on the relative strength index on the RSI. Could it be turning up from here if we do a quick little bit of trend line and have a look at that? That's broken through. That was clearly broken through. As you can see, actually, right there, broken through, a retest, and now a bounce off. So potentially on the weekly, you could see some higher prices coming. Again, definitely not saying it's happening, but I would say on balance of probability, and I've certainly been wrong before and I might be wrong again, but on balance of probability, so more than a 50% chance, a triple bottom right here, plus the breakout from this downtrend line in the RSI, I would suggest more likely than not, so more than a 50% chance that we do see some high prices in the next week or two coming. If you disagree, post a comment below, and I always want to hear your opinion. And I have my targets moving higher and my targets moving lower. So the support level, really want to hold $1,660. Next level of resistance is going to be at 1,700. Your next one after that is your $1,720. And in the next couple of weeks, right here, your big one, $1,785, $1,790. You could probably call it 1,800 even if you really wanted to. Around there. So that's my targets moving higher, my targets moving lower with a slight bias to the upside. Because of the RSI, Relative Strength Index, on the weekly time frame, and the fact that we have broken through these couple of levels. Because of the triple bottom so far. Any other things I need to look at? Let's look at the monthly, for example. Monthly is a little bit different. The monthly, what I can see here, and I'll get rid of that. The monthly, of course, we had very, very overbought territory back here in August of 2020, a double top right there. And this is on the monthly time frame, but you can even see here that's even a triple bottom on the monthly time frame. Very interesting. Okay, and what we can see here is we are in between overbought and oversold territory. But what you might notice right here is this a bounce off? Is this a support level on the Relative Strength Index on the monthly time frame? And people do look at this. People do look at the relative strength index and do sort of chart that as well. I do know people who do that. So it can be somewhat of an indicator as well. So you can see that support level here and that support level here. And it is just ticking up at the moment on the monthly. Very interesting. So I'm going to say, as I said before, a slight bias, let's call it 51% bias to the upside in at least the next week or two. So let's call it that for the moment. So that is gold. And let's take a look at silver. Do you have much silver? Are you an all silver person or are you an all gold person? Post your comment below and let us know where you sit. Don't tell us where you live. Don't tell us how much you have and all that. But are you more silver based? Are you more gold based? Do you have both? Do you have a 50-50 split? Let us know. What's your kind of allocation? We always like to hear from our customers. So silver, look at this. My goodness me. What a huge move. This is on the weekly. Go to the daily. Beautiful move. So what we were talking about last time, I think we had broken through. We were back up around this 1950 level. We had broken, I'm pretty sure we had not broken down below 1940 just yet, but we did see a move down to 1940. It was the support level of 1880 held, and we saw a fast move to the upside all the way up to, what do you know, all the way up to this other line here, which I've had drawn in for a while at your sort of your $20.80 kind of level. And that's been a level of resistance at the moment, currently hovering at $20.75 US dollars. So on the daily time frame, we have we ticked over into today? Yes, on this particular chart, we have ticked over into the next daily candle, looking like we're going to see a little bit of a move down today, quite possibly, unless there's a little fake out right here. So in sort of no man's land territory right here, whether we break down or break up from here, what other indicators can we look at? Now, if gold is going to go higher, and silver outperformed gold in the last couple of weeks, particularly in the last week, because you saw the gold to silver ratio drop from 85 to 80. Well, if gold's going to go up from here, and if I have a bias to the upside with gold, then I have to probably say I have a bias to the upside with silver as well. Take a look at so on the daily, we are ticking up. Looks like we have room to move higher to go up into extreme overbought territory. So I could definitely see a move up to the level of the $22 level easily within the next few days. Definitely not out of the realm of possibility. So that's my next target moving higher, $22. Let's take a look at the weekly. What's the RSI telling me? Well, very clearly in an uptrend at the moment as well. So similar thing, I'm going to say bias to the upside for the moment in silver. You've got your level of $22, and if we just break straight through that within the next week, although you'll get another technical analysis next week, you've got this level of $23.80. But I would say bias to the upside, $22 is your level of resistance moving higher and moving lower. You can just pause this video to see my targets, my support levels, I should say, moving lower, but bias to the upside in silver. That is silver. That's pretty much all I need to say on that one. Actually, look, I'll take a quick look at the monthly. On the monthly as well, hey, what do you know? So right here on the monthly, you've got that similar support level on the RSI. Right here, a bounce off. So right about here at sort of that 40 level on the RSI on the monthly time frame, similar to gold, right? Around about that kind of level, and a big move up into overbought, extremely overbought territory. This is back in August of 2020, all the way back down, and definitely a support level which has been hit, and it's now trending back up. So looking positive at the moment. So at least for the next week or so, bias to the upside. Can I say that a fourth time? I won't do it a fourth time. Let's head straight over to Bitcoin right now. Now, of course, I will make mention right here of Josh Lang's, the data analyst extraordinaire, his piece of news, his Bitcoin analysis or digital asset analysis, which he does every single Tuesday morning. So if you're into the cryptos, if you're into the precious metals and the cryptos as well, Tuesday mornings is the place to be. The Ainslie website is the place to be to check out his on-chain analysis of Bitcoin in particular. So I'll put a link below to that specific bit of news, but the title of it was Digital Asset Demand Returns, which it has for a little bit in this last week or so. So check out this video, and that's the reason why I'm also doing a quick look at Bitcoin as well. Check out this article. And again, I'll put a link below. So let's have a look at Bitcoin. Now, this is on the weekly time frame. I'll quickly go to the daily to see where we've come from. Right, so it's been a couple of weeks at least since I've done a Bitcoin analysis. I have been talking about the targets, the sort of the $14,000 target here, if it does indeed break down to there. I'm not going to say that the bottom is definitely in just yet. We have a few people calling for the bottom definitely being in, particularly because we are coming into the end of a 4-year cycle and the beginning of a new one. Traditionally, it's around about this time now, between sort of November and December, is the end of the previous 4-year cycle. So we're coming into that. Some people say the bottom is in now, as I just said. I'm not going to say that. You could easily see some kind of black swan event or something have a quick, very sharp wick down to that sort of $13,000, $14,000 level. Stranger things have happened in Bitcoin. I mean, look at this, for example. So not out of the realm of possibility. But in the last few days, we have been skirting, and this is for the last couple of weeks, skirting around that $19,000 level. It's been sort of acting as support, a couple of wicks down, but you can clearly see that level of major support. Broke out up to 21,000, back down to 20,000, and just recently in the last few days, 21,500. And we are back down at $20,500, $20,600. The new day has yet to tick over. That's ticking over in around about 10-15 minutes. My bias for Bitcoin in the next day or so would be possibly to the downside. You have this trend line right here, so you could easily see it bang up against this little trend line right here. If you disagree, post a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And Bitcoin, let's take a look at the relative strength index on the daily time frame. Possible little double top there, actually, if you have a look on the relative strength index. So it looks like it's trending down at the moment. So my bias within the next 24 hours, I'm going to say, and of course I could be wrong, is that maybe slightly lower prices may be coming down to this trend line right here. So that would hit it at possibly your under $20,000 range. So 20,000, could that be broken within the next 24 hours? If you think so, post a comment below. It's quite possible, in my opinion. So I'm going to say a bias to the downside within the next day or two. If I'm wrong, well, fantastic, because then we're just heading up and it's all great guns. But take a look at the weekly time frame. And yeah, see, because this is a new weekly candle, can definitely see some room to move down. I'll get rid of this trend line right here. And if we're basing it on the weekly, a level of support on the weekly time frame, if we are moving down further, Yeah, definitely going to be around about here at that $20,000 level. So, yep, definitely room to move down, and you see a support level of $20,000. So hopefully it holds that. If it doesn't hold 20, I would suggest we are moving further down to around about your $19,000 level. And on the monthly time frame, or on the weekly, I should say, on the relative strength index on the weekly, a little bit different. We have been in extremely oversold territory back in June of this year. It looks like it has broken. So if I show you the trend line right here, look at that. Crazy about this one right here. There we go. Definitely broke out of there. So there's a case to be made that the bottom is in, but we could just see a little bit of local movement down, but not breaking down way below that sort of $17,000 level. So the people who say the bottom is in definitely have a case to be made, because we have broken out of this downtrend in the relative strength index on the weekly time frame. Let's have a look on the monthly time frame. That's probably one of your more bigger indicators. And let's have a look. Where are we? Now you see on the monthly, we have flattened out so far on the relative strength index. There's definitely room to move down to get to that, close to that sort of oversold territory. So pretty neutral on Bitcoin at the moment, I will say. And let's have a look here on the monthly candle. What's this monthly candle? Why is that not doing that? There we go. I need that, and then I'll put that, and then auto. Yep, that's what we want. I'll get rid of this. See on the monthly candle, yeah, I could see that moving down quite easily. So I'm going to say for the next 1 or 2 days, a bias to the downside. I'm going to say indeterminate in terms of neutral, or whether the bottom is definitely in, or whether we see, a spike down. But if we do see a spike down, and I have been talking about it, definitely this level here of your $13,000 to $14,000 level would be, I think, the bottom, in my opinion. I don't think we're going to sort of your 9 and 10K. Don't think that's a possibility. Why do I think that? Because a lot of people call it, and if you expect it to happen, it's probably not going to happen, because everyone's going to front run it and buy, sort of closer to this sort of range. And I would actually expect people to front run and sort of put their buy orders around your $14,500 to $15,000 level. So it probably wouldn't actually hit that sort of level right here of your sort of your 13,700. So it's kind of between 14 to 16 is where I think the majority of people would put their buy orders. They've probably already got them in, their dry powder ready to spring if we do see that little dip back down in Bitcoin. So that is it. That was gold. That was silver. That was Bitcoin. Do you have particular technical indicators that you prefer to use? Let me know in the comments below. What do you like to use? Is it Ichimoku Cloud? Is it Elliott Wave Theory? What do you like? And tell me, where do you think the price of Bitcoin is going, and also gold and silver? So, of course, you want to do that by subscribing to the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Ainslie Bullion for the wide range of informational videos 5 days a week, including our weekly Wednesday specials. You got to stay for those. You got to be subscribed, because the early bird catches the worm in terms of the weekly specials for gold and silver, and of everything else that we do here at Ainslie Bullion. And at the end, as we say, balance your wealth in an unbalanced world. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon.